Heidi ho, Heidi ho. So, message for today is about obviously all the things that's going on around the world because that's what I study. So, to truly understand or have an understanding of nature and human nature, and the nature of all the different hues of man, you have to study psychology and philosophy, and even with that, you got to have an open mind and understand that is also coming from the mind of another man. So the mind and the heart of another man is giving you these, but you got to study them, and then you study Torah and Tanakh. And when you study and you look at things like the Erev Rav, the mixed multitude, those are character traits that come along with us, that are attached to us. So they're not specific nationalities or anything like that, they're specific character traits. So like, people talk about the Jezebel spirit and the Delilah spirit, and then you've got the spirit of the Erev Rav. The men, the mighty men of renown, who are sexually promiscuous and whatnot. And then the Giborim, and the men who want to make a name for themselves. And the reason why I bring all this up, and this is deep within my heart and my mind right now, is because this is all of us. It's not just, you can't point your finger at others. It's removing those character traits from ourselves. So the body is the klipa, the husk, like a banana has a husk, and every fruit has a husk, an outer layer. Every fruit of the tree, nuts, have a husk. Everything has a husk. And look at Job 10:11. You covered me with the skin and the flesh and knit me together with the bone and the sinew. You're not the skin, the flesh, the bone, or the sinew, and you're not the blood. Life is in the blood. It doesn't say life is the blood. It says life is in the blood. Life is quantum entanglement and everything we attach ourselves to. Every cause and effect. The ebb and flow of life itself. That's us. Created an image of our Abba, which is to have no image, to make no contract, to make no pledges with other men. Not to say you shouldn't make agreements with other men, but that's verbal, not written. And if you can't make a verbal agreement with somebody, you shouldn't be making an agreement with them at all. So anyway, all the things that we see going on around the world is because the world is suffering from mass formation psychosis, greedy for gain. You know it's not okay to racketeer and pirate from others, piracy, or profiteering, but it's okay as long as you're profiting from it. So we'll put Nom de Guerre, a war name, on our chest and a badge, and carry armaments to fend for the laws created by what some are now calling the Epstein class. And it's okay as long as we're benefiting from it. So at one point in this life, I had a Nom de Guerre on my chest, and I'm sure probably in a past life I've had a Nom de Guerre on my chest, because we have to do a tikkun and rectify even things that we did wrong in our past. That comes with us into the next life and into the next life until we rectify it and do a tikkun. So anyway, as long as we're willing to accept gifts from the Epstein class, we're giving them their power. As long as we're willing to push the legal fiction instead of God's laws, we carry that guilt, those iniquities along with us into our next life. And everything is a circle of life. And you go in and out until you correct and do a tikkun. And then you have the opportunity to go to Gan Eden, which would be the Garden of Eden. So that's a message for today. Just because other people are doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. Claiming ownership of what belongs to our Abba is against the law. We're caretakers of, not the owners of anything. We don't even own these bodies we're living in. We're in possession of them, but every single atom is going to return to where it belongs. So that's the message for today. Remove the ego, work on ourselves. So Lech Lecha. God told Avraham Avinu, Abraham, to go to a land that he hasn't known. Lech Lecha means to go and then go for yourself, which means to go into yourself also. We're supposed to work the soil. These bodies are also the soil. When you really start to look at things like that, the body is your temple. It's your vessel that you're traveling in during this life. You are the consciousness, the spirit, Ruach, Neshama, the Nefesh, whichever one you choose to be. The Nefesh is the beastly soul. Neshama is a godly, heading higher. So killing out our egos means not claiming names of land. I don't care what anybody else tells you. You're not an American. You're not even the body you're living in. You're not German, Dutch, Jewish. First of all, there's no such thing as being, well, I guess there could be such a thing as being Jewish if you're a man who's trying to make a name for himself and not for Torah or Tanakh. There's no such tribe. Yehuda, Yisrael, but that would be trying to make a name for ourselves. That's why I don't use that name. And I can't say that I'm even Yisrael. Only HaMashiach knows who Yisrael is. Anybody who tells you they're Yisrael is more than likely the year of Ra. So that's the message for today. God bless. Much love.